Hello again, beautiful artists, and welcome back to another episode of Paint Along with Skye. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Skye, and I post beginning level acrylic painting tutorials here on YouTube every Saturday. So make sure to hit subscribe so you can join the fun and paint along, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified when I post a new video. Alright, so this week it is the first weekend in June, which here in the US we like to celebrate Pride Month for members of the LGBTQ+ community and those that are allies. This is going to be a fun rainbow slice painting designed for that, or just for any time that you'd like to celebrate rainbow or celebrate Pride. We have a full rainbow of colors here to start with and our 4 standard brushes. So the colors that I have are going to be the rainbow colors. So we have a red, orange, yellow, a little bit of phthalo green. Today I'm using cobalt blue and some violet. I also have a bit of white. And then I have my 4 standard brushes that come in the kit that I like to use and recommend. So I have a large square brush, medium-sized pointed brush, and then my 2 small detail brushes. Gonna get those in the water cup off the side of the screen. The other sort of unconventional tool that I have for today, since we're going to need a really big circle, I'm going to sort of cheat here and use a circular shape, which I went to my kitchen and I got this big pot lid. So I'm going to use that to trace out my first shape here in a little bit. To see all the materials that you need to paint along, check the description box below. But I think we are ready to go ahead and jump on in. All right, so we're going to use our big pot lid here in just a minute, and really anything in your house that's circular will work fine, or you could even freehand it, you could wing it and see how it goes. That's fine too. But let's go ahead and grab our second to smallest detail brush first, and what we're going to do now is decide what we want our background color to be, and I think I'm going to do pink just for fun, and I think I'll add a little bit of orange to it too, but for now, just to start with, I'm just gonna mix up a little tiny bit of pink, and then I'm gonna grab my pot lid or any circular shape that you have in your house, and I'm going to put it on the edge so that it's pretty much right in the center, and it cuts a perfect half circle here. All right, so we're not going too far up or too far down. You might be inclined to go further up to have it fill in more of the canvas, but we have a little trick that we'll do for that. But I want to do right in the center so that it's easy to do our little sections. Okay, so I'm going to try to eyeball that as best as I can. And I'm going to do a quick little outline here, like so. Okay, great. All right, and I probably should have gone a little bit lighter there because we are going to cover these up as sketch colors, but I wanted to make sure that you guys could see. So I'm going to go quite a bit lighter, and you could even use a pencil for this step too, because what we want to do here is sort of space out our little sections. And I'm going to start by just doing a line down the center, and what we want is 3 sections over here and 3 sections over here, which means there's going to be 2 lines in each of these sections. See, it's hard to see, but it's also going to be hard to color over if we go too dark. But we want to start to section out each little slice here. And they're going to probably need to be adjusted since we're not using any technical mathematical equipment here to get our perfect sixths. So feel free to do any adjustments as needed. Okay, but here we have our little slices of pie, and we're going to fill these in now with our base colors. I'm going to use my second to largest brush now and come in here with light versions of each of our rainbow colors. I'm going to start here on the very far left. All right, we're gonna work our way way over to the other side, just color by color. Okay. And so I covered my sketch line there. We are going to have a little bit of white in between each section, but we're definitely going to need to come back and add that. But if you can, start to like even out your sections and at the same time leave a little bit of a gap and cover those sketch lines, then you're going to be ahead of the game. But don't worry if you need to add the white later. White actually has pretty good coverage power over these bright colors. It's nice and opaque. Okay. But yeah, you can start to leave a little bit of a gap there just so you don't have to cover that with paint later. And we'll have our yellow slice. Right here. And actually, see that one, I'm not gonna have a white space in between because when I come back, I'm gonna add the white over the orange. Always constantly adjusting things. It's not just a put down the first sketch line and go type of thing. It's always a sort of adjust as you go. So we're trying to get these sections as even as we can. I'm gonna mix up a lighter green by adding in some yellow to that phthalo. Right next door there. And feel free to use your slightly smaller brush if that gives you a little bit more control. We're going with the classic Pride Rainbow here. Oh, there's a few different variations of it. And I thought a long time about how to get 7 slices, since it's like a scientific rainbow would be Roy G. Biv, which has 7. R-O-Y, red, orange, yellow, G, green, blue, indigo, violet, Biv. But this is slightly different. So then I looked at the pride flag and I was like, wait a minute, there's 6 sections, which would be really easy to do in 6. Because adjusting these to try to get 6 is hard enough. Trying to get 7, I was like, trying to find a simple way to break down 7ths, and I just couldn't do it. So we're sticking with the simple classic one today. And the one that I grew up with, so was the most familiar with. All right, and light blue, and our last color, we're gonna do violet. Very fun, bright colors already. A little bit of white added into each and every one. We're doing a little bit of a pastel version today, but we're also starting with this medium mid-tone color so that we can add highlights and shadows. All right. But for now, that's looking pretty good. And there we have our slices. Great, let's grab our little second to smallest brush again. Now you have to decide what kind of fruit you are. I'm an orange fruit, clearly, because of my red hair. So I'm going to do orange for my fruit. And I'm just gonna take a line of this orange and I'm gonna go right above my colors. A couple of inches here, or maybe like an inch. And then we're gonna come back and just thicken that line up a little bit. The section in between is gonna be that white fibrous part of the fruit, the citrus fruit. Like so. And I think I might even go a little bit thicker than that. But I always like to start small. It's always easier to make something bigger than it is to take that line away. Great. Okay, and then, let's see, yeah, I'm gonna grab my slightly larger brush. Oops, and one went flying, but that's all right. So we don't need that one yet. And just to thicken that up a little easier. Okay, now we have our little fruit main shape here. Let's grab a little bit of an orange yellow or yellow orange and go right underneath that orange peel line. All the way across as well. We have our base of our peel there. And we'll just go ahead and leave that white section white for now, and we'll come back and add that in and finesse each of these shapes a little bit better as well in our last step. But let's go ahead and fill in our remaining background area. And I think what I'm going to do is just take some pink and just start to get this all filled in. This is a simple and easy painting today. Nothing too crazy. I always like to do the easy ones. They are low stress, baby. We don't like to stress when we're painting. And I think, yeah, I like the pink. I think I might add a little bit of orange as well though. So I'm gonna pull the pink over, but throw a little bit of fun orange in as well, because why not? You can do whatever colors you like on your background. You can even do rainbow colors. It's a hard decision because we're using all the colors in our slice. Different segments. So it's not like there was a color that wasn't used yet. Okay, making sure that the pink backs up against the orange, but then yeah, just add a little bit of orange here and there maybe. Just for fun. And makes it look kind of fun and tropical. Okay, looking good. And then one last little step here with our colors. Now that we're a little bit drier, I'm gonna come in with my second to smallest detail brush, and I'm going to now come into each of these colors and add some streaks of a darker color, darker version of that same color, just like so. And then I'm also going to do the lighter version. It's a little highlight too. So we filled in with our medium base color, and now we're adding highlights and shadows. Okay, and just a few little streaks, and you don't want to do too stripy. You want to see a little bit of purple still, or whatever color you're working with. Really, really light-handed. And we'll just come right back through those same colors. And this step really adds some nice depth. And it will also give you an opportunity to maybe fill in any areas that might need it as well with another little bit of that base color. Sometimes you need multiple layers with acrylic paint. I'm really trying to find some clean white because things have gotten colorful, just how I like it. Oh, we could add some clean white later too, so don't worry. Things always start tidy and then they get a little crazy. It's just my artistic process. I don't know about you guys. I'm a tidy person, but when I'm creating, things get messy. But then they have to go back to a set point before it can happen again. All right, a little bit of darker green. Don't want to go too dark though. We want to have it be nice and refreshing feeling still. And a gorgeous light green highlight. Okay, very light-handed. And for the yellow, you may even want to bring in a little bit of orange for your darker color, since yellow is not very dark on its own. Could get some help with its friend there, orange next door. And then a nice light bright yellow. Little streaks all throughout each one. Cute, cute, cute. Very satisfying and simple painting today. And then the same idea in that your orange might not be dark enough or pigmented enough to show up, so you might want to let red come over a little bit to get some nice darkness there. Contrast. Beautiful. A little bit of light orange. Not too light, so we still are going to come in with our white. And then finally the red. Little flicks of the wrist, really. Very light texture. Perfect. Nice and balanced. Real bright pink. Or light. Super light, rather. Trying to find some clean white. All right, and now that we have this all highlighted and shadowed, we're gonna step away for just a second just to make sure everything is totally dry, so that we can come back and add our final little white and come in here and sort of carve out our sections a little bit better and make sure we have no blank canvas left over. So let's let this dry and we'll come back in a few. Okay, welcome back, artists. We have a dry background mid layer here, and then I put some white on my palette, and I also put some orange just because I want to adjust my orange peel slightly, which you may not need to do, but I wanted to just be honest with my little touch-up process here and show you guys the full painting. And I just noticed at break when it was drying that it was just ever so slightly lopsided, so I'm gonna do my best to tweak things here and finesse them, if you will. All right, and that's already looking a little bit better to me. All right, and then I'm going to take a clean brush and some of my white, and I'm going to sort of clean up the in-between here now of each of my little sections. And I'm also going to sort of round them off. So first things first, let's just separate them like so. And then we're going to kind of round these sections off here so they're not pointy on the edges. Okay, like that. That's what we're going for here with each section. Feel free to use the smaller brush. I probably should be. I tend to be a little bit lazy in my painting process, especially when it comes to using the teeny tiny brush when I should, just because the slightly bigger brushes do go a lot faster. They hold more paint, so it's good dexterity practice as well. But I do have that brush in the kit, and some classes I don't even use it. But I like to have it anyway, just for those teeny tiny little details when I'm adding like a little bird on a tree or a glimmer in someone's eye, steps like that. Okay, and we're separating the sections and rounding things off. And that's what's really gonna make it go from looking like sixths to fruit segments. And we are also going to take some white into this section that doesn't have any paint yet. Even though that it's a white canvas, we are still gonna cover it with white paint, so that everything looks nice and consistent. It does matter. It's an amateur move to leave white on your canvas. You don't want to do that. It looks just kind of weird. As opposed to like using the white of paper, which is commonly done. You're not really supposed to leave the white, but if you really want to, you can too, because there's really no rules for painting. But I like to follow this one rule, which is don't leave the white canvas blank. Fill it in with white paint. All right, and we're just separating these last couple segments as delicately as we can. We want to leave as much juicy fruit as much as we can, so don't cut in too much. And again, we're sort of trying to adjust things a little bit even still. Making them all even. All right, filling that in all the way to the yellow. Nice option to correct those shapes if you need to. And we are headed towards our grand finale here. I do have a Facebook group where my students share their work. If you were painting along today, I would love to see your work. Especially love to see group photos or just really any photos you want to send me of you guys doing the paintings. Love to see that. That is in the description box below. There's a link that will take you there. It's called the Art Club. Love to have you over there, and let me know what you thought of today's painting in the comments section below. I'd love to hear from you. But for now, that is all the instruction that I have for us this week. So again, let me know what you thought of today's painting. I'd love to see you over in the art club. Thank you so much for painting along. Happy Pride, happy painting, and until next time, stay creative.